Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah, and that's the program that you're listening to. Let's get it. Man for the Bible, 3 books in one. The book of Jubilee, the book of Jubilee, the book of, well, we're going to start with Enoch, Jubilee, and Hasher. You got to read Hasher first. It's very important that you read Hasher. That's from the time I left to go until we went the promised land the first time. Then you read the book of Jubilee. That's the prophecy. Everything that was going to happen until from the time we left to God until this day. And then Enoch, everything that was going to happen to us from generation to generation. The Apocrypha. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, faith, patience, hope, prophecy. Everything is in that book. So if you know me now, you know I done went over these. Testimony of Solomon, the Testament of Solomon, and you know it's in that book. The demons. The demons are in that book. You got to know your demons. You got to know what ceremony these wicked Jews, or so these people say they're Jews, are not gone, and what they are doing. You got to know that. You have to know that. Then, why I'm here, the testimony of the 12 patriarchs. And he told you, for the last and great and dreadful day, I'm gonna send you Elijah. And Elijah's going to turn the hearts of the children back, the hearts of the children back to the fathers, the hearts back until at least I strike the earth for the curse. And then he told you that before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, I'm going to send you Elijah. So that's why I'm here. And who are the fathers? The 12 fathers: Reuben, Simeon, Levi and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher, and Joseph and Benjamin. That's a 12 fathers. And why he's sending you back to this? This one is written by R.H. Charles. And why he's sending you back? Because they have the prophecy, exaltation, and what your fathers and them did, and the prophecy they left, because they knew we was going to be, they knew about this captivity. Everything I read to always point to this captivity that you are in now, and how you come out this delay is captivity. So when you come out this captivity, guess what comes? Jesus. And what Jesus said, I'm coming to plant you in your homeland. You gotta be afraid no more, and nothing gonna happen to you. So that's what this is about. And those books lead up to what? The Holy Bible. All right, wait a minute, wait, not finished yet. Come on, you know you're not finished yet. Then we have this, the Gnostic Gospel. We're going to get into the Gnostic Gospel today. Okay, don't forget this, the message that the Lord God gave me to give to that's what we going. See that? Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, see Lord. So they have a lot of scriptures on there. So get into those scriptures. If you can't buy none of those books, or get someone, no. If you can't buy none of those books, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like I told a young lady yesterday, I said, you know, because people buy your foolishness. I said, well, what can I get you for your birthday? Oh, you done such a good thing for me. What could I get you? Tell them, give one of them books. Books are the most expensive book is the Holy Bible. And you know why that is so. Then the next books, then banned from the Bible, that's 3 books in one. And the thing about banned from the Bible, that's 3 books in one. So if you're paying $15, you're paying like $5 for each book. That's what you're doing. And the rest of the books look nothing. But they did sock it to me on the Testament of Solomon, and the reason why they sock it to me on that, because you don't know. When you don't know, they take advantage of it. And you have seen that in my other videos, that you are for a prey. And those people are still stealing from you, and they're still running the economies. All economies of the world still running off your back. Sure is. Now, you don't have to believe that, but I'm just telling you what's going on. Now, get into the dreams. I have dreams. Come on, man. You know I have dreams. But this dream I had that I told, I didn't tell it all, and I left some parts out of it. So I'm going to retell this dream. So the dream was that I was in a church house, and I was sitting on the front pew, and I was sitting this way, just like this, on the front pew. Now, my legs and thing was up, but everybody else feet and everything was down. And then they had this young lady in the pulpit. She was the one that was bringing forth the message of the teachers. And so, as she get ready for the bring forth the message, I said, and she was looking for something. I said, you find that in Jubilees chapter 1, verse 11. So if you've seen the other video, that's what I told her. So you find that in Jubilees chapter 1, verse 11. And so after she said that, she said, oh, I've been looking for that for a long time. That's what she said, just like that. Then she asked me who I was, and so I gave her the name, my birth name. But they had a man in the audience, a man that was sitting on the pew with me. He said, and I said, man said, Elijah. And I said, behold Elijah. That's why I told her, I said, behold Elijah. And then when I told her that, and then when I said, behold Elijah, she said, then she came down out the pulpit and said, what you say your name was? And I said, and I told her, once again, I told her name down. She said, no, not that one. I said, Elijah. She said, yeah, that's the name. That name that fits you. And then after she said that, the man on the side, he had said it too, you know, said Elijah. And then after she said, and I said, would you like to know how I got the name Elijah? I said, but I told her, said, I woke up, I was in a dream, and everybody around was calling me Elijah, and was saying this, you know, before I can get all into that, she started walking back to to get back on the pulpit. So when she got back on the pulpit, she said, Thanos, and Cronus. Cronus, that's Thanos and Cronus. And I said, oh, no, no, no. I said, those are the same people. Those two people, they are the same. And she said, oh, okay, all right. Those two people are the same. And then I woke up from that dream. But I told the dream, but I didn't tell you last part about when she went back. And she said Thanos and Cronus, like there was two different people in the dream. I told her those are the same people. So that's one of the dreams that I had. Another dream I had, that dream now, that's an old dream. So another dream I had, in this dream, I had children. I was an adult and had some men was standing outside, you know, on the sidewalk. And we sent this other young boy who he had been fighting, I guess, and you know, the boys giving a hard time. Not children, give you a hard time either for different reasons. And so we sent them over back in the park, and we told them, go ahead back on over there. So as you went back in the park, one of the little boys held another little boy was about to strike him. And then about to beat him up again. I said, don't do that, let him go. So when I told him don't do that, let him go, I said, I need to hit you. And then, you know, they let him go and stuff. And then I told him, say, you haven't learned how to fight yet. See, that's what I told him. And then after we start walking off, and I see these two look like two helicopters. But I don't know if they're helicopters, they look like two Chinook helicopters. They're dark brown, two of them dark brown. But all of them look like they have a tether or something on them, you know, like controlling them. That's what that means. But anyway, so I woke up that dream. Another dream I told you about the dream where I was this man had a pistol to this other man's head, and I was on the side looking for to get a good shot, because I had a pistol too, looking for to get a good shot at him, but I was like in the doorway. I was like in the doorway, and I could see through the crack of the door him, and I was waiting for to get a good shot on the man. But that happened twice, both times. In the doorway looking for a good shot on one time, and know how the dream repeated itself and did it twice. So the next scene in the dream that I was in the laundry room, and the man that was doing that, the man that had the pistol to the other man's head, he had took off his coat and put it down in the laundry room. So I went and got the coat, and the coat had a hoodie on and everything. It was a great coat. And I put on the coat, and I had his weapon and my weapon was in the coat, so I had two weapons. He turned around, looked at me in shock, you know, like we say, astonished. So that's how he looked at me. So next part of the dream, they had this man lying down in bed, a woman, and a few of us was in the room. And the man reached over, he had a knife in his hand. He took like different popcorn was on the stove, and he just reached over there with his knife and cut the top of the different popcorn thing as it was getting bigger. And so after that, popcorn there took off, blew up. And like when it blew up, got big for the popcorn to come out. The popcorn was coming out everywhere. He took the thing and hit it off the stove on the side and a cone to light. And man, they had pretty white popcorn everywhere. And so we took it. It was still good. So we got it and started eating it. So that was another dream. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. I had a phone call earlier, man. Man, you in some desperate time. These people, when you see these people doing all this type of stealing, man, they got a lot behind behind the scenes that you don't even know about what's truly going on. But the Lord God will reveal it to you in time. Okay, I was talking yesterday. I had went to this place into in a hospital type setting. And you see these people in there getting different type of medications, which is nothing wrong with you getting medication. Excuse me. Oh man. I'm not starting no video because I'm burping and stuff like that, man. I don't do that. I told you that's what's wrong with you now. You're looking for perfect things perfectly. And these people got you deceived. That's how Satan is. Satan got you deceived that he's perfect, but he ain't perfect no more. Because the Lord God tell you, say, oh, how beautiful and perfect you were, O son of the morning, until what? Iniquity was found in you. So once iniquity found in you, guess what? You ain't perfect no more. That's why you have the covenant. We'll get back into it. That's why you have the covenant. And you go away from Adam unto this day. There had always somebody keeping that covenant. There have always somebody that repented with their whole heart and kept all God's 10 commandments. Always have. Always have. Always will. That's right. And so that's the covenant. You have to repent with your whole heart and keep all 10 of his commandments. And I guess people say, well, what about the meat commandments and things? No, God gave you specific instruction on that also. That's the thing. I'm going to read it to you. Just give me time. I'm going to read it to you. And he gave you specific instructions on that also. But how men do, we get in stuff and we corrupt. We got to add to it and take away and do all those things when the Lord God said, no. And so, just like King David told you in, man, I forgot what gospel I was listening to, because I listened to those gospels. See when those people on YouTube, and they said, this is the gospel of Thomas, or this is the gospel of Bartholomew. I listened to that. Yeah. Why I listen to it? Because you can take something for anything, whether it's good or bad. That's why the Lord God taught me that. And then after he taught me that, then he gave me the Testament of Solomon to let me know that you got to know the bad. You got to know it. Yeah, you got to know it's the knowledge of God. That's why God said the knowledge of God is better than the sacrifice of God. That's the reason why he wants you to know these things. Anyway, so that's what the Lord God wants. I'm going to read it to you. But anyway, so in one of those gospels, it tells you about King David and the Psalms. And then King David explained to you that a lot of those things, what he was telling to eat, not to eat, because a lot of these people was of different languages or different backgrounds. Some could read, some couldn't. That's how it was. Our people could read, but some didn't. Some of them couldn't read. And so he gave these allegories, telling about the different birds, what to eat, what not to eat. So that's in one of the Gospels. Go find that out. But anyway, so where we going at? We going in Jubilees chapter 6. Let's get to it. You know how much time go by fast. Jubilees chapter 6, and we're gonna start at verse 4. Jubilees chapter 6, verse 4. Now you gotta understand when these things, when I read to you out the book of Jubilees, the book of Hashum, these things was before Moses put down that law. But like I told you, there had someone that always was keeping the laws. Always had somebody. Let's go. So, and the Lord smelled the good and pleasing odor. He made a covenant with Noah that there should not be any more floods to destroy the earth. That all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest should never cease. Cold and heat, summer and winter, and the day and night should not change the order nor cease forever. That's what he said. All right, increase and multiply on the earth and become many. and be a blessing on it. And I will inspire the fear of you and dread of you and everything that is on the earth. But let's go back. You say, increase and multiply on the earth. Are they doing that tonight? Mm-mm. They had one child. Some of them won't even have no children. Why? Because they run up behind Baal. That's what they're doing. All right. Okay, look, I have given you all beasts, all winged things, and everything that moves on the earth, and the fish in the water, and all things for food. As the green herbs, I have given you all things to eat. After the Lord God did. I'm just telling you, I can give it to you like that. I'm going to read that again. Look, I have given you all beasts, all winged things, and everything that moves on earth, and the fish in the waters, and all things for food. All things for food. It didn't say some things, it said all things for food. As the green herbs, I have given you all things to eat. That's what he said. So I'm just telling you, all I can do is read this, Jubilees chapter 6. But you should not eat anything live or with blood in it. For the life of all flesh is in the blood. For the life of all flesh is in the blood. And your blood of your lives will be required. And the blood of your lives should be required. So what that should be required of you when you do this thing? The blood, your eternal spirit. The spirit is in it. He said the life is in of all flesh is in the blood. At the hand of every man, at the hand of every beast will I require the blood of man. Whosoever sheds man blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God he made man. For the image of God they made. Then you know, you have read it, you have listened to my other books. Go read the Apocrypha and see what it says about how God made man. Okay. Increase and multiply on earth. Just right after the flood. Increase. And Noah and his sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. And he made a covenant before the Lord God forever throughout all the generations on earth in this month. A covenant. What is a covenant? Everlasting covenant. A binding agreement. Huh? So that was that covenant that the Lord God made right after the flood. And so that's why you think these Jews, man, doing all this thing, man, like that's something, man. I don't want to get into it because we are going in another direction. Because of this, he spoke to you that you should make a covenant with the children of Israel, with the children of Israel. Don't say Jews. Say with the children of Israel. I told you, these people stealing everything from you. And with an oath, in this month, on the mountain you shall sprinkle blood on them because of all the words of the covenant, which the Lord made with them forever. Repeat. We're going in Jubilees chapter 6, verse 11. Because of this he spoke to you that you should make a covenant with the children of Israel. Now that's another covenant there, because listen, let me tell you something. I was supposed to go and get this the other day. So when I was supposed to go get and tell you about all the covenants and get out right, you know, go through and have all the covenants for you. And then things happen. Things happen. This is all I can say. Things happen. Everything is a reason, a time, a purpose for everything, and everything come in its time. Just like I told you, that's why I told you go get this book, and listen and read and hear the voice of the Lord God, and listen to what our father Jacob told unto our fathers, one of our fathers, how every time he looked up, every time he wanted to see Joseph, he saw Joseph right there. Whatever Joseph was doing, he saw him right there in the spirit, right there. Everything doing. And then Father Jacob told one of our fathers, said, this must too come in this time. So these things, everything is coming this time. Just like this the time, a dream I had. I can tell you this dream. I might have told you this dream once before, but listen to it. In this dream, I was in Israel. that piece of dirt. I was over there in that piece of dirt. I was with them, with those people that say they are Jews, but not. And you go over there and your skin is dark as mine, you'll see that these people are not Jews. You'll see it. You see they have not of the Lord thy God. Okay, so I had a dream. So I had done something for the Lord. I had delivered them a prophecy how the Lord God was going to destroy them. That's why I delivered it to them. So as I delivered them that prophecy, the next day, the night when I went to sleep, the Lord God showed me the bride. That's right. The first time he showed me the bride, she was asleep. She was on the bed, you know, like a day bed. And people was around. Nobody was around. People was in the other room. And she was lying down in that bed, sleep. Now, I don't tell you the rest of the dream maybe. So that's the dream. I was in Israel when that happened. All right, so okay. So this is the covenant, and this who is made with the children, made with other children of Israel with an oath. In this month on the mountain you shall sprinkle blood on them because of all the words of the covenant which the Lord made with them forever. See, that's a forever covenant with us. How we should eat, how we should drink. And I didn't read the beginning of that to you. That's on chapter 6. But that's when Noah had made an altar to the Lord, and he sprinkled wine and frankincense and pleasing odor. He frankincense immersed in the. That's why I tell you, man. Malachi chapter 1 verse 11. Malachi chapter 1 verse 111. Go read that and understand that you have to burn these incense. I ain't talking about that the stick incense. Now I don't know anything, but I burn the incense, a piece of coal. Self-lighting coal, and then I put the frankincense and myrrh on top. One frankincense on that one dreams. Since we're talking about that, and I tell you when I tell you about the dreams and everything, um, when I tell you about these things, I say, well, a dream I had. That's how God came and spoke to me and told me and showed me what to do. So, here's friends of mine. I said people I've been knowing all my life. I can't say all my life, but I've been knowing for a long time. And these are Rasta men. So Rasta, if you a Rasta burn frankincense and myrrh. They burn that. Oh yeah, you're gonna be around a Rasta man, and he don't know nothing about frankincense and myrrh. It's not gonna happen. And that's why I tell you, learn something from anybody, and all you have to do what the Lord God said: choose the good and throw away the bad. Choose the good and throw away the evil. That's what he tells us. So when you go around somebody from one of these church houses or something, they tell you something, they're going to tell you something good. Choose that. Then when they tell you something bad, just throw that away. Throw that away. But anyway, so this is how the Lord God came in a dream. I was in back then they used to have this store shut down called Swag. The show's shut down. So after but before it shut down, I was in the store. I was in the storehouse, and I was in the storehouse. And then I had started burning the frankincense and myrrh on my own. The next thing you know, I was in the parking lot. And you know, they have these high lights. A light pole, you know, they have light poles by themselves in the parking lot. Look at it. And this one was tall and it had two things on side. Each side had two things on, you know, two lights on each side. And so the light pole, I think it's an old dream, so I want to remember it right. I think the light pole broke and fell down. And then I heard a voice say, "You're wasting it." Because at the time, when I first started, I was burning 3 pieces of coal. I was burning frankincense and myrrh. And I was burning 1 frankincense, 1 myrrh. And then I had one, I combined them both together and was burning. And that's when I heard the Lord say, "You're wasting it." So that's when I started burning 1 of each. I burned frankincense, and I burned it at the same time. And then I started burning it early in the morning, at sunrise. Before the sunrise or during the sunrise, I'm burning. I'm taking down, lighting down, and burning. That's found there, and I read that to you. I read that to you. Man, I'm not going to look for it because I read it to you. whereas John the Baptist did, that's what he did. He went and that's what he did. He burned the incense for the temple. That's what he did. So he burned the incense in the morning, and then in the evening time, the evening worship of the temple, you know, like when the sun going down, he burned the incense again. So that's where that come from, and that had been. That ain't just thought, that have always been. All right. So that's the dreams that I gave you in a little more. All right. So now, so we're going back to Jubilees chapter 12. This testimony is written concerning you, that you should observe it continually, so that you should not eat on any day any blood or any beast or any bird or any cattle during all the days of the earth. I'll repeat that. This testimony is written concerning you, that you should observe it continually, so that you should not eat on any day any blood, that you should not eat on any day any blood of beasts, of birds, of cattle during all the days of the earth. On beasts, on birds, you know how this book reads, so sometimes you might have to go over it 2 or 3 times to get it, but do it. Okay, so now that's an everlasting, that's to be observed continually, everlasting. And man who eats the blood of beasts, of cattle, or birds during all the days of the earth, he and his offspring should be rooted out of the land. He and his offspring should be rooted out of the land. Anybody that do that? Yes, that's another reason why, because all my life, you know, you go to places and you know, sometimes I'm not really a fan of steak, but I have eaten steak before, and went to a steakhouse before, and then they come and ask us, well, how you want it? You know, the hamburger too. How you want your hamburger? How you want your steak? Rare. Man, when they say rare, a medium rare, man, I say, how you want your steak? Well done. That's how I want it. Well done. That's how they bring it back. Well done, man. Okay, man, no indeed. And I know that even before I had read this. Even before I read this, I know that. All right. You will command the children of Israel to eat no blood. So don't eat no blood. So that their names and their offspring may be before the Lord our God continually. That's what he said. So that their names and their offspring will be before our Lord God continually. Stopping right there for a moment. You see, you don't understand what's going on. And let me give you a little more insight into what's going on. Everything that the Lord God gave us to do, those people that want to be us, those so-called, Lord God say they're Jews, but they're not. Everything, no. All the laws and all the commandments that they do. And Lord God gave that to us to do. Just note about it. These people want to be us so bad, look. They stole your name. And they took your name and put it on a piece of dirt, Israel. So they can't steal your name. They can't have them both. They can't be Jews and Israel at the same time. You can't do that. Now, so what they did, they didn't figure out we can be Jews and we can be planted on this piece of dirt called Israel. And then that makes us Israelis, and that makes us Israelites. That's a lie. That's a lie. Israel is a people. A people of royal priesthood. That's what Jesus told you. That's who you are. He said a people of a royal priesthood. That's who we are. Okay. So now all the laws. They say, is it kosher? That's what they say. Is it kosher? So now you know where all that come from. And you know that's because of us. But guess what? That's how they eat their food. Yeah. Go into one of the restaurants and ask one of them and think them Jews are eating their food and stuff. Well done, man. Esau's children are Jews. Now you don't have to believe that. I told you that. All you gotta do what you say. Follow the word. Look at prophets and follow the word of God, and you'll see. I didn't show it to you. All right. All right. So their offspring should be before the Lord our God continues. So that's why we are there. That's why them people. There is no limit of days for this law. It is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generation, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf, with blood before the altar every day at the time of the morning and the evening. Shall seek forgiveness on your behalf perpetually before the Lord, that may keep it and not be rooted out. Let's go again. So that's how we're returning unto the Lord. Hey, I'm just telling you. I'm read to you. There's no limited days for this law. It is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generation, so that they may continue supplicating on your behalf with the blood before the altar every day and at the time of the morning. See, now we don't do blood sacrifice. The Leviticus Jews, so that's what they're supposed to be doing, still doing the blood sacrifice. That's what they're supposed to be doing. And then, all right, but our sacrifice is supposed to be what? The frankincense and the myrrh. Where? In the time of the morning. And when in the evening, they shall seek forgiveness on behalf perpetually before the Lord, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. So that's what's going on. That's what we're supposed to be doing. I give it to you as the Lord God gave it to me, because I didn't used to do it. I used to just say my prayers at night, and that was it. Why? Because you listen to these pastors, these preachers, these teachers, and everything is to keep Esau children on top and you're on the bottom. To keep those so-called Jews on top and you're on the bottom. So that's what it's about. Now, so they want to tear this video, go ahead and tear it down, because all they got to do is one other person here just to be able to time and watch what God do to them. You ain't got to listen to it. Watch what God going to do to them. Keep on messing with it. And this they haven't started yet. Lord God haven't, like I told you again, Lord God haven't taken the gloves off, but he sure have took the handcuffs off. All right, this whole festival was celebrated in heaven from the day of the creation until the days of Noah, which was 26 jubilees and 5 weeks of the year. Noah and his son observed it for 7 jubilees, 1 week of the year, until the days of Noah's death. For the days of Noah's death, his sons did away with it until the days of Abraham, and they ate blood. So that's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. But Abraham observed it. Isaac and Jacob and the children observed it up to your days. And in your days, the children of Israel forgot it until you celebrated in a new moon on this mountain. So command the children of Israel to observe the festival in all their generations for a commandment to them. And for a commandment to them, and 1 day in the year, in this month, they shall celebrate the festival. So that's why I tell you, go get this book, and when you get banned from the Bible, it's 3 books in one: Jubilee, Hashir, and Enoch. So this is the book of Jubilees, and that's the prophecy. See, this is a prophecy, and this prophecy, what? From the time you left the garden until this day. So that's what I'm giving you now. I'm giving you the prophecy of why we shouldn't eat blood and ordaining of that. I didn't give you that. So, and then it goes on to tell you what day and what month it is. So that's what it tells you. But we also know that the other part of the prophecy says when we start keeping 365 days till 364 days, we was going to neglect this and go back into slavery again. So all those things that was prophesied has happened. So all those things prophesied has happened. And I tell everybody that you died is a main part. That's why the Lord God said, I'm going to send you to a place. Go read Deuteronomy chapter 20. That's what this is about. Deuteronomy chapter 28. That's what this is about. So I don't have to keep telling and repeating things over. I'm just telling you, they have to do that. That's why from the time you be born until this day, certain things you know, certain scriptures you know, certain things you know. Why? To keep you in the strong delusion that you should believe a lie. That's right. That's why it's done. All right. So these pastors and preachers, every time they speak and say something, and they give you the word, but at the end of that word, guess what they're doing? What are they doing at the end of the word? Begging for money. That's what they're begging. And we went over this before, but I'm gonna give you a little glimpse of it, and then after I give you a little glimpse of it, then we're gonna go deeper into it. So this is a little glimpse of it. Let me see how much time I have left. 10 minutes. That might be long enough. All right, so we going. So I already gave you a glimpse of it, and I gave it to you in Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus That's in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus, that's in the Apocrypha. All right. And so let me see. I'm gonna make sure that I have it right. Because I had given this out this morning. Let's see. Ecclesiasticus chapter 20, verse 21. Ecclesiastes chapter 21, verse 8. Ecclesiasticus chapter 21, verse 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathered himself stones for the tomb of his burial. I told you that. All right. The congregation of the wicked, like tow, wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. All right. So I already told you this once before. See, so that's a part of it. Hey, see, and so that's what these people doing. They build these church houses, they hire a place of what on other people's money. And say, so what they're building that for their own burial. Yeah. Listen, let's go to verse 7 of Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 7. The eloquent man is known far and near, but a man of understanding know when he slippeth. So what is his slip? He that buildeth his house with another man's money. Okay, so now that's just part of it. I mean, they have other parts too. Let me get this other little part out to you. All right. Here you go. The fear of the Lord is a proof of God, and it covereth him above all glory. Now that's just listen. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for a beggar is leave not a beggar life. You see. For better is to die than to beg. The life of him that dependeth upon another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluted himself with other men's meat, but a wise man would nurture, well nurtured, will beware thereof. See, begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his own belly there should be burned a fire. In his own belly should be a burned fire. No, amen. But in his belly there shall burn a fire. But in his belly, I'm reading it again too. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. Another correction that I have since I'm into that correction. I'm gonna get to it. Since I'm in that correction. I said, and I listen to the video. I go back and listen to my videos to see where I made my mistakes at. So when I go back in the video, I said the flesh of man is flesh of man, and it goes as King David said it. Man is but flesh, and then I say I left out the part. Man is but man. I say God, the law God said. God said, remember that man is but flesh. He's like the wind that passes by, never to return again. So I'm correcting myself. Men, I say, he asked the Lord God, and asked God, remember that, but they are but flesh. They're like the wind that passes by, never to return again. So I'm correcting myself. Okay, we're going into the Knox Gospel of Thomas, Mary, and John. And we're going into the Acts of John. That's what we're going into, the Acts of John. Now, I hope I have enough time. I hope we're going into the Acts of John. Okay. Acts of John. And the Acts of John, the Knox Gospel. Okay, and we're going in verse 37. And try not for your sake to defraud or overreach, neither ye poor be vexed if you have not with it to minister unto pleasure. For a man's substance when they are deceased. Oh, well, no. Repeat that. Try not for their sake to be defrauded or overreached. Neither ye poor be vexed if you have not the wherewith to minister unto pleasure. For men of substance, when they are diseased, call you happy. Neither you rich rejoice that you have money. For by possessing these things you provide for yourself grief that cannot be rid of when you lose them. And besides, while it is with you, you are afraid lest someone attack you on account. That's what they see. That's the money. All right. Thou also that art puffed up because of the shapelessness of thy body, in order of a high look, shall see the end of the promise thereof in the grave. And thou that rejoice in adultery, know that the law and the nature avenge it upon thee. And before these consequence, and thou adulterers that are an adversary of the law, knowest not whether thou shalt come in the end. Knowest not whether thou shalt come in the end. And thou that sharest not with the needy, but hast money laid up, when thou departest out of this body, and hast need of some mercy, when thou burnest in the fire, thou shalt have none to pity thee. And thou the wrathful and passionate, know that thy conversation is like a brute beast, and thou drunken and quarrel. Thou drunken quarreler, learn that thou losest thy senses by being enslaved to a shameful and a dirty desire. So that's John. Thou that rejoicest in gold and delight thyself in ivory and jewels, when night falleth, canst thou behold what thou lovest? Thou that art vanquished by the soft raiment, and then leavest life. When those things profit thee in the place whither thou goest, and let the murderer know that the condemned punishment is laid up for him twofold after his departures. Hence, likewise also you prisoner, sorcerer, robbers, defrauders, sodomites, thief, and as many as are that of that vein, you should come at last, as your works do lead you unto a quenchable fire and utter darkness, and the pit of punishment and eternal threatening. Wherefore, you men of Ephesus, turn yourself, knowing this also, that kings, rulers, tyrants, boasters, and they that have conquered in war strip of all things, when they depart hence, do suffer pain, large and eternal misery. So that's in the gospel. That's in the Gnostic gospel of Thomas, Mary, and John. And I'm reading the Acts of John. Let me see. 2 minutes. So I'm reading that in the Acts of John. Another thing, see, you ever heard the white party? That's what they have. They have white parties. Now let's get into that. Now, brother, for Miltus said unto John, we have continued a long time in Ephesus and seem good to thee. Let us go up to Samaria. For we hear already that mighty works of God have reached it also. And Andronicus said to him, whensoever the teachers willing, then let us go. But John said, let us first go unto the temple of Artemis. For prehence there also, if we show ourselves the servant of the Lord, will be found. So after 2 days, when the birthday of the idol temple, John therefore, we all were glad in white. John therefore, when all were glad in white, so that's the people at the birthday party, all glad in white, alone put on a black raiment. So John alone put on a black raiment and went up into the temple. And they took him and exceed to kill him. They'll come to me later, because it said to kill him. But John said, you are mad to set upon me a man that is the servant of the only God. And he got him up upon a high pedestal and said to them, ye run hazard, men of Ephesus, of being like in the characters to the sea. Every river that flowed in in every spring that runneth down, in the rains, and the waves that press upon each other, and torrents full of rocks are made salt together by the bitter telement, MS promise. That is their end. So you also remaining uncharged unto this day towards true goodness, are become corrupt by your ancient rites of worship. By your ancient rites of worship. And how many wonders and healing of disease have you seen walk through me? That was John. And you are blind in your hearts and could not recover sight. So that's what he's talking to us. So that's what I'm showing you, that those black and white parties, 45 minutes up, that those black and white parties, that's they serving demons. Oh yeah, they serving demons. So then I told you some about the money traps and how miserable they are. And how miserable they are. All right. So I'm not truly finished with this, but you know, let me see. I'm not truly with this. This is the Acts of John. So Knox the Gospel. Please go to Acts of John and Knox the Gospel, and you see where Jesus sung songs. Yeah. You think Jesus didn't sing? Jesus sung songs. Okay. I'll read this one thing for you, then I'm through. All right. For he, this is about money. This about money. For he that loveth money is a servant of mammon. So remember what Jesus said, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve mammon and God too. This mammon is mammon is the name of the devil who set over the carnal gains. So that's what you say. Mammon is the devil who set over carnal gains, and is the master of them that love the world. Even the lovers of the world do not possess riches, but are possessed of them. Just telling you. For it is out of reason that for one belly there should be laid up so much food as was sacrificed 1,000. Gotta repeat that. For out of a reason that for one belly there should be laid up so much food as would suffice 1,000, and for one body so many garments as it would furnish clothing for 1,000 men. In vain, therefore, is that stored up which cometh not into us, and for whom it is kept, no man knoweth, as the Holy Ghost said by the prophet. In vain is every man troubled who heapeth up riches, and knoweth not from whom he gathered them. Naked did our birth from the woman bring us into this life, destitute of food and drink. Naked will the earth receive us, which brought us forth. Who possesses in common the riches of the heaven? The brightness of the sun is equal for the rich and the poor, and likewise the light of the moon, and the stars. The softness of the air, the drops of rain, and the gates of the church, and the fount of sanctification, and the forgiveness of sin, and the sharing in the altar, and the eating of the body, and drinking of the blood of Christ, and the anointing of the chesel, and the grace of the giver, and the visitation of the Lord, and the pardon of sin, and all these dispensing of the Creator is equal. Without respect of person, neither do the rich man use the gifts after one manner, and the poor after another manner. After another, don't say manner, after another. Neither do the rich man use these gifts after one manner, and the poor after another. But the wretched and the unhappy is the man who would have something more that sufficeth him. For of this come heats of fevers, rigorous of cold, divers pain in all the members of the body, and he can neither be fed with food nor sated with drink, that covetousness may learn that money will not profit it. which being laid up bringeth to the keeper thereof anxiety by day and night, and suffer them not to even for an hour to be quieted and secure. For while they guard their house against thieves, till their estate, ply the plow, pay taxes, build storehouses, strive for gain, try to baffle the attacks of the strong, and to strip the weak, exercise the wrath on whom they can, hardly bear it from others. Shrink not from playing at tables, from the public shows. Fear not to defile or be defiled. Suddenly do they depart out of this world naked, bearing only their own sins with them, from which they shall suffer eternal punishment. Now that's on page 70 of the Gnostic, page 70 of the Gnostic Gospels. Thomas, John, Thomas, Mary, and John. Now I didn't read it all to you. I just read the part about Mammon is the name of the devil that sat over carnal gains. So that's what, Jesus left everything for us. And what they did, they took and which the Lord God had me to do that, for them to divide it. Because man, they didn't hear so many things from them. Let's go back. I'm gonna read this and then I'm gone, because I didn't read everything. I didn't read everything from you. Jesus said the Pharisees, scribes had taken the keys of knowledge and hidden them. They themselves are not entered, nor have they allowed to enter those who wish to. You, however, be as wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. So all I can do is just give it to you. And so you know who the Pharisees, scribes, and those people are. Because I told you they call them the proselytes. That's right. That was the desire to make you. I read that too. That's in, well, I can't think of it right now. But anyway. So I hope I didn't, part 2 of the dream that I had in Israel, then I'm gone. The part 2 that I had in Israel. So after I did the Lord's work that the Lord had me to do after a period of time, then I had another dream. Boy, in that dream, I told you about this dream before. Boy, it's in one of my other videos. Told you, man, she was woke, and she was so gorgeous and so beautiful, and she just had on this white garment. That's right, she had on this white garment, and I saw the Lord. Yeah, the Lord was there. That's right, ready to receive her. Yep, I saw Shiloh. But anyway, so she was woke in this white garment, and then, like I told you before, they had all these people that had some dressed up in white, like the ushers. You know how you go in the church, I would see the ushers, and some had on other dresses and things. And boy, they was making such a big fuss over her, boy, because they was ready for the receiver. And boy, they was touching the gown, making sure it's right and everything. And she was standing there with her hands held out while they was preparing them to meet her husband. Man, that was a beautiful dream. I didn't know what it was at the time, but over a period of time, they tell you, and so not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, say the Lord of hosts, and I'm Elijah. Until next time.